"30 years after the first Honda Indy Toronto, some of Canada's best race fans would make their way to Exhibition Place for the annual Summer Slugfest on the streets of Toronto. Nick Yeoman here once again with your Sunday highlights. There's really only one name you need to know when summing up the Indy Lights doubleheader at Exhibition Place, and that name was Felix Rosenqvist. After leading all 35 laps in Saturday's race, the Swedish prospect would lead 45 more, dominating race 2 and scoring his third win of 2016. Two-time Toronto winner Scott Dixon would lead the Verizon IndyCar field to the green for the 30th Honda Indy Toronto. Dixon and Helio Castroneves wouldn't have a chance to streak away from the pack for long, though, as the first full-course caution would fly on the opening lap. Battling with Graham Rahal, Charlie Kimball's car gets sideways and collects Ryan Hunter-Reay. Both drivers would pit for repairs, and amazingly, both would stay on the lead lap. The race would restart on lap 5, but once again, it wouldn't take long for the drivers to start leaning on each other. Approaching turn 3, Juan Montoya would drive right into the back of defending race winner Joseph Newgarden, destroying the left rear wheel pod on Newgarden's Chevrolet. The debris would bring out another full-course yellow and send the Iowa race winner to pit lane. Things would finally settle down for the pack after the restart, but with the first fuel window opening, second-place running Helio Castroneves would experience problems with his left front tire. Castroneves would limp back with a shredded left front to pit lane, and then things would cycle through. Helio would end up running 6th. On lap 45, the race went yellow for debris. This time it wasn't for pieces of carbon fiber, but more so for chunks of asphalt that came up from the red and white curbing in turn number 5. After some cleanup and hammering of the affected spot by the Halmatro safety crew, the corner was deemed raceable. On lap 58, however, the curbing would get the best of Joseph Newgarden. His race wheel would rip out of his hands, sending him barreling into the turn 5 wall. At that very moment, Will Power, who would spend most of the day in the top 5, ducked onto pit lane. The savvy move by Tim Cindric and the Verizon crew would keep Power near the front after the final pit cycle. Tony Kanaan would find his NTT Data Chevrolet up front during the closing laps, but the problem for Kanaan was he last pitted on lap 42 and unable to go the rest of the way. Kanaan would push hard while leading, but with less than 10 laps to go, he'd have to come to pit lane. With Kanaan pitting, that opened up a monster lead for Will Power, and the Aussie looked as if he would cruise to his third win of the season. With 5 laps to go, however, turn 5 would claim 2 more cars. First, Jack Hawksworth buries his car into the tire barrier, and with nowhere to go while trying to make a pass to the outside, Juan Montoya would join him. The full-course caution would trash the lead Will Power would have over his charging teammate Helio Castroneves, and Toronto's own James Hinchcliffe was stretching his fuel tank for everything it was worth. On the restart, however, no issues for Will Power as he would pull away during the one-lap shootout and score his 28th career Verizon IndyCar win. Castroneves and Hinchcliffe would round out the podium, with the mayor of Hinchtown scoring his best career finish at his home race. With the win and just 5 races left, Will Power is now 47 points behind Simon Pagenaud as the series heads to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course on July 31st.